Today we're going to be discussing how to use our platform to gather business intelligence information that can help you access and win donor-funded contracts and grants across the Middle East and North Africa. Today, we're going to just explain how it works and what you need to do in order to win those contracts. So just to let you know, our mission is basically to help NGOs and consulting firms get the information they need to move a business development contract into a winning proposal. And we aim to do that so that you can implement the most good for all peoples across the Middle East region. We track about 1,150 different sources for donor contracts. And we pull them in and classify them so that it makes the search process a little bit more easy. So one of the first things that you need to do in order for you to be able to have a more streamlined process for finding contracts and finding contracts that are relevant to the development aid system is for you to have a way to track different opportunities that is seamless and all-encompassing. And to start with, you can do that through our funding page at DARPE. Oh, it seems that we're actually joined today by our Executive Director, Mr. Ala Shaheen. Just wanted to introduce him. He's going to be joining us for today and going to be leading some of the Q&A after the session. But yeah, so like I was saying, everything for us you can access through the funding page. And so if you click on that, it'll take you to our searchable database of different grants and tender opportunities that we track through our business development officers. So they look at about 1,150 different sources, like I said. But of course, this leads to 17,000 results, and that's impossible for you to go through all at once. And so it's more important for you to be able to look through the ones that apply to your organization specifically. And so this will make sure that you are saving a lot of time and energy so that you are making the most out of your business development process. Instead of looking at all these multiple different sites, you can just come to our website and you'll be able to find everything that you need at the click of one button. And so these are some of the filters that we use in order for you to be able to look at the opportunities that are just relevant to you. So I'm just going to run a basic search for you. So say I'm looking for grant opportunities that are only in Egypt, and say I want them to be for women's rights and empowerment. And I want only the ones that are accepting bids at the moment. So just so you know what these different statuses are, the ones that are accepting bids are the ones that are open right now for you to apply to. The forecasted ones are usually for the bigger opportunities that are multi-million-dollar projects, but that have not been released yet and don't have a deadline quite yet. We also keep our closed opportunities available, and that's just because we think they're a really good resource for you to be able to find out the funding priorities of different donor agencies. And the last one is the open call for proposals. And these are ones that are basically continuously accepting proposals on a rolling basis. And this usually applies to grant opportunities. But I'm gonna just look at the ones that are accepting bids at the moment and say I only wanna look at, so then we have these two different types of opportunities. The tenders are the ones that consulting firms can apply to, and the grants are mostly for NGOs and civil society organizations. But for the purpose of this exercise, I'm just gonna keep it open. Then we have different services that the call can be targeting. It could be for advocacy and awareness raising. It might be a capacity building opportunity, but I'm just going to keep it open just to kind of see what comes up. And then we'll click search. And the system will filter out the opportunities for you. Now there are only 11 results that you can look at. And this just makes it a whole lot more manageable. And so you don't have to look through a bunch of different resources. It makes it a lot easier and it makes it so much more time efficient. So say you've decided that this is one opportunity that you are interested in, the program evaluation of UN Women's regional program. So say I'm gonna click on that and it'll take me to the opportunity page. Just bear with me while it loads. Yeah, so it'll tell me everything that I need to know about this opportunity. At the top, you'll find its status and its deadline and the locations in which the opportunity is being implemented. Everything will be listed here from the sectors and the type of service being requested. You can also find the TOR for the opportunity as well as the link to the original. And the reason we put in the link to the original is so that you can apply for first apply on the platform. A lot of these organizations will require you to go into their platform in order for you to apply. And sometimes as well, these organizations will post extensions for the opportunities. And we want to make sure that you have that available so that you can keep track of that opportunity. I mean, if a new post is posted for that opportunity with an extension, we will post that on our website. But if they don't do that and it's just an extension within the same post, you might want to just make sure that you keep that in mind and keep track of it. We also give you the contact information for whoever is in charge of that opportunity. And these are usually the people that you would have to send your proposal to, or the people that you might want to send questions and any information that you might want to ask for with regards to this opportunity. The second thing that we do is that we make sure that you are able to write a more targeted proposal. And so this is where the business intelligence information comes in. And this is really the strength of DARPE because we have actually, we found a way for you to be able to write in a targeted proposal. And so by clicking on the logo of any of these organizations, it'll take you to their profile. And this is where our business development specialists have written out all of the information that you might need to know in order for you to start engaging with them in a more intellectual way. So we give you a brief snippet about who they are, their sectors and subsectors of interest. We also give you a specific contact information for people who work at this organization. And we think that's important for you to start, initiating contact with them, including them into your, in your newsletters if you have them, or just cold calling emails so that you can start developing that relationship. We also give you all of their past procurement notices. And that's because we strongly believe that these are key documents that can give you insight onto their funding priorities. Because what better way to understand these organizations than to look at what they funded in the past? And this is like really key business development information. And the last thing that we do is that we show you all the partners they've worked with in the past. And you can use this as a starting point to build your research before you start writing your proposal. Because you can use this to figure out who are your potential partners when you're starting to approach this, this donor agency, or you can use it to figure out who are your potential competitors when it comes to this organization. We like to think of this phase as the first 5 days in your proposal writing process. So essentially what DARPE does is enable you to do your research in those first initial 5 days before you start writing out your proposal, is that you are able to map out the ecosystem. You're able to search for opportunities in what we are calling the scout, engage, position, and capture process. And so your scouting process is where you are looking for those opportunities. Your engagement process is where you're looking at the organization itself. And then your positioning process is where you start writing out your proposal and you start sending in those key messages that start differentiating you as the right organization for that opportunity. One other thing that we allow you to access is our organization's directory. And so this is really helpful for when you're starting to, like I said, engage different organizations. Some of these organizations might not actually like they might not submit a call for proposals. And so we make sure that you are able to figure out who are the other players in the field. And you are able to look at those organizations in a more concrete way. We've actually profiled about 3,700 different organizations, but obviously it would be impossible for you to look through all of these. And so we've made it into a searchable database as well. And this is really good for two things. It can allow you to map out the ecosystem and figure out who are other individuals and other organizations that you can work with to implement key different projects that you are working on, or it can help you figure out who the donors are in your region or sector of interest that you can approach for unsolicited calls for proposals. And this is really relevant for Arab organizations, for example, that come out of the Gulf. Some of them might not, advertise that they have a grant available, but we do know that they fund a lot of different organizations. And so it would be really good for you to start approaching them and building that relationship with them. And we help you do that by giving you a profile that lists out a little bit more about that donor agency. And these are just some of those organizations that we have profiled in the most recent couple of days. And if you click on any of these profiles, it'll look a lot like the one I showed you for the UN Women. One of the other aspects that we share with you is our experts roster. So a lot of the times there will be consulting opportunities that require you to have a specific set of individuals on your team. And so if your team does not have all of the expertise, or if you just want to outsource some of the work, you can do that through our experts roster. We actually have about 400 different individuals who have submitted their CVs, and these are vetted individuals. So these are the best of the best, and you can rely on them to conduct some of the work to help push your opportunity to the best of its abilities. And a lot of these people have PhD degrees, master's degrees, and the minimum requirement that we have is that they have 5 years of experience. And so these are really like strong individuals who have worked in the field for quite some time. But you need to be careful because we don't really act as a middle ground between you. So you would need to reach out to them yourself and establish that working relationship and discuss their cost per hour. So of course, the person who has 25 years of experience in a PhD might be a little bit more pricey than somebody who has a master's degree. So you need to be aware of that. But if you were to click on their profile, bear with me a moment. It would take you to their bio, all of their contact information. You'll be able to find their CV, and it'll also give you a list of the clients they've worked with in the past. And we think this is really important because sometimes when you're trying to reach out to a donor agency, it is key to have key personnel that have worked with this donor agency before, because that creates a trusted relationship between you and the donor agency. A lot of the times they want to see somebody they've worked with in the past, because that just creates more trust, and it builds to the strength of your proposal. So we've now just covered the scout and engage portion of your proposal writing process. The next thing that we would do is to strongly recommend that you position your organization. And what I mean by position your organization is that you need to start basically advertising and marketing your organization as the right place for that project or proposal. And you can do that either through your newsletters or by participating in forums. But one thing that we can help you do is help you reach out to key development aid organizations through our webinars. We have a really strong outreach to donors and development aid practitioners across the Middle East and North Africa. And so if you don't quite have your own outreach capacities, we can help you get there. Bear with me 1 second. The internet is not the most reliable in Cairo. But essentially what I wanted to show you is our outreach capacity. We have about 22,000 newsletter subscribers. We also have about 25,000 subscribers to our social media, and 35,000 people come and visit our website on a monthly basis. And so my numbers are accurate because I have a good memory. But this is essentially our outreach capacity. And if you are not able to do your own outreach, we can help you get there. And this is really key in order for you to start positioning yourself as the go-to space for that proposal. And so this is what we come to know as positioning. And all of these aspects, your scout position, your scout engaged position will lead to your final space of capturing that opportunity. So you get scout, engage, position, and capture. And that's how DARPE can help you essentially get to the right opportunities through our platform.